Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies as we continue with part 17, Roman Colleges of Artificers, of the origin of Freemasonry and Knights Templar by John R. Bennett. Roman Colleges of Artificers. In 716 before the Christian era, the Roman Colleges of Artificers were established. They were composed of men learned in all the arts and trades necessary for the execution of civil, religious, naval, and hydraulic architecture, with their own laws and judges, laws based on those of the Dionysian Artificers, whose mysteries had spread among the principal peoples of the East. See Dionysian Mysteries, page 12. Author's note: the papal briefs which protected them alleged that immunities were given them after the example of Hiram, king of Tyre, when he sent artisans to King Solomon for the purpose of building the temple at Jerusalem. Royal Masonic Cyclopedia, page 741. Numa, the great lawgiver, the second king of Rome, in founding these colleges, made them at the same time civil and religious societies, with the exclusive privilege of building temples and edifices, their relations to the state and priesthood being determined by the general laws. At their head were presidents called masters, overseers or wardens, censors, treasurers, keepers of the seals, architects, and secretaries. There was in each of them a priest. The workmen were divided into three classes: elders or chiefmen of the trade, and their journeymen and apprentices. They had secret meetings, paid monthly dues, by which means a common fund was accumulated for the maintenance or relief of indigent or destitute members. They elected the candidates for admission by voice of the members, and performed a secret ceremony of initiation and made a symbolic use of the implements of their art or profession. No college could consist of less than 3 members. In all these respects, they were like modern lodges of Freemasonry. With the advance of the empire, their numbers increased and their privileges greatly extended, so that they became an important element in the body politic. The Romans were early distinguished for a spirit of colonization, which was conducted through the legionary soldiers of the army. To each legion there was attached a college or corporation of artificers, which was organized with the legion at Rome, and passed with it through all its campaigns, and when it colonized, remained in the colony to plant the seeds of Roman civilization, and to teach the principles of Roman arts. The members of the college erected fortifications for the legions in times of war, and in times of peace, or when the legion became stationary, constructed temples and dwelling houses. When England was invaded by the Roman armies in the year 55 BC, the legions which went there carried with them their colleges of artificers. One of these legions, under Julius Caesar, advancing into the northern limits of the country, established a colony, and to defend themselves, formed an entrenched camp with walls, inside of which, as elsewhere, habitants, temples, and aqueducts appeared, which, under the name of Eboracum, gave birth to the city of York, afterwards so celebrated in the history of Masonry. In the beginning of the 2nd century, after the fall of the Roman Republic, all the colleges of artificers lost their ancient privileges, but in the year 286, Carausius, known as the Count of the Saxon Shore and Admiral of the Northern Seas, was besought by the Britons, suffering from the depredations of Saxon and Frank pirates, to assume the sovereignty of their island, having organized a marine victorious against the pirates, which before the advent had filled the narrow seas. He took possession of Britain and declared himself emperor, in order to consolidate the Roman colleges of artificers, then wielding an immense influence in that country. He restored their ancient privileges, since which time they have been called privileged or Freemasons, to distinguish themselves from those not thus enlisted. In 294, Carausius was assassinated by his prime minister and confidential friend, Alectus, who maintained his usurped dominions for 3 years, when Roman power put an end to the independent sovereignty of Britain and reunited it with the emperor. The invasion of the northern barbarians into Italy demanded the entire force of the Roman armies to defend the integrity of the empire at home. Britain in the year 420 was abandoned, and the natives, principally Celtics, with the Roman colonists and the College of Artificers who had settled among them, were left to defend themselves. Long previous to this, however, Christianity had dawned, not only upon the British Islands, but upon the whole of Europe, and the influences of the new faith were not long in being felt by the colleges. And the next phase in their history is the record of their assumption of the Christian life and doctrines. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.